Yo, 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 what is up? Happy weekend. It is July 3rd. We got 4th of July weekend here in the United States. Happy 4th for all the Americans here. And happy independence for everybody else that has it or is fighting for it in your own life or your country's life. We love all you guys. It's Break Into the Future. Your host, your founder, Joshua C. Taylor. I got my guy here, JB. John, what is up, man? How you doing today?
What's going on, Josh? Man, it's good. It's good. It's a little early out here, but
Yeah.
there's no time zones in crypto, man. So
Oh,
I'm like up at 4 or 5 every morning. So this is nothing. It's all
yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Things are going good, man. It's a beautiful day out here, and lots of exciting things always going.
nice, man. Nice. Thanks for coming on. Where are you located right now?
I am just outside of Vancouver, BC, a place called Davis Bay. People might know Seashelt on the Sunshine Coast. It's about 45-minute ferry and like a 30-minute drive, but it's still on the mainland of BC, Canada. But you got to take a ferry there, so it's a little secluded, small town.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
yeah, cool. Did you grow up in Vancouver?
Yeah, just outside. Just outside. Actually, I was born in Vancouver, and then I had kind of a rougher childhood with foster care and everything, and then I moved out to Langley when I was 7
Yeah.
with a family that adopted me.
Mhm.
And I spent my growing up years in like a suburb of Langley, and then I moved to like a farm when I was like 14. My parents bought a farm,
That's cool.
so I got some farm life experience now too. And so yeah, I'm from this area.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I haven't been out there. I have to take you up on that. I'm meeting more
Oh man, it's beautiful.
I'm
It's
meeting more
beautiful.
Canadians. Greg
Hmm.
Foss was my first guest.
Oh my God.
And so of course he's larger than life now. And so
Oh yeah.
I'm meeting more Canadians by the week, I guess. So
Yeah.
that's cool. So you're growing up, you're a foster kid, you got blessed with a lovely family, I'm sure, and then
Yeah. Really lucky. Yeah.
farm life. I guess do y'all have high school in Canada?
Yeah, well, hey, high school in Canada, man, is a little different than the States, right? We don't have all those big fancy like homecomings or
Yeah,
anything like that. But yes, I love Canada.
cool. And then what happened when you became a man? What happened? And tell me about that
Oh
and
man,
what led into like crypto, and then like
well, let's see. The last 12 years, 13 years has been a lot of business development, big B2B corporate world sales, sales management, uh, sales strategy, marketing development, marketing strategy, multi-channel marketing. And, the last decade specifically was focused mostly with trading, FX, risk management solutions for larger corporates, enterprise in North America for Western Union business. And, you know, I got kind of interested in Bitcoin, let's say, back in when was it? Maybe 2012, 2013 ish,
oh,
when you could still mine a coin with a laptop
yeah,
with a graphics card.
yeah,
And I just gotten started more into like the financial sales and portfolio management trading. So I was hyper focused on just learning about financial trading, FX markets, learning about technical indicators, how to trade. And I noticed it was starting to take over a lot of my time during the day. Like I'd be working and my client would call, but I'd be reading about Bitcoin and what it is. And then I'd be like, oh, okay, so how do I get one? Like, what does this even mean? Like, I had no idea.
early days, early.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, should I buy some? And then I was like, no, I'm not going to buy some. I'll just wait. I'll buy some stocks, right?
Yeah,
And then like a couple months later, Mount Gox happened or something like that. Maybe not a
Can you
year, a while later. I'd forgotten about Bitcoin, and then Mount Gox happened, and I saw it fall, and I was like, oh, I'm so glad I didn't buy it.
Yeah,
And then I forgot about it again until like 2016.
confirmed your bias.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't never read the white paper. If I would have read the white paper, man, I would have like been. But I didn't. I was almost there, so I did well enough. I bought a lot of private placements with stocks. I knew a bunch of promoters out there in Vancouver, so I mean it was okay. But like 2016, 2017, my buddy's like, dude, you gotta buy Ethereum. You gotta buy Ethereum. blah, blah, blah. So I bought something that was like $50, right?
Yeah.
And it went to like 100, and I was like, all right. I pulled my RSPs, which is like your IRAs, maybe like a tax-free savings, like for retirement.
Yeah.
In Canada, it's called an RSP. So I pulled my RSPs, took the tax hit on them, bought like a ton of it, and then it doubled. And then I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. And then I was
Euphoria.
like, and then I was like, okay, well, what else is in this place? Like, let's think about it as a trading vehicle now.
Yeah.
Let's just think of it as a trading speculative tool. And I was like, okay, sure, I can get down with this. And then I looked into it, like I found Ripple, and then I was already in financial, like payments and trading. And so Ripple's business model really aligned with things that I'd already known. So I felt comfortable buying it. And so I was like, oh, okay, I'll buy some Ripple. Ripple was like 60 cents. Okay. And then by that point, my Ethereum had moved to like 3 something, 5 something around there. It was ridiculous. I was like 10x at that point. And then I went into Ripple. And Ripple was at 60 cents, and that went to like 2 something, and I sold at 280. And I was like, oh my God, what is going on? Everyone at work on my trading floor was like, nobody was trading Bitcoin except for me and this other guy, or crypto, whatever you want to call it. And so everyone's tracking along. My portfolio's on my screen. People walk by, take a look, and they're like, whoa, man, that started here. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, you know what? This may sound crazy, but I'm going to go all into Tron today.
Tron was around back then?
It was like 2 cents. Okay. This is where like I became a legend at my office, and then everyone like all the MBAs, all the other guys were like, "Don't do it, John. Take your profit out. Take your money out that you bought in with right now. Don't do it. Just be safe. Maybe buy like 4 or 5 coins." And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm doing this. Oh, sorry. I was like, I bought Tron at like 4. It came to like 4 cents ish, and then like overnight, at my time overnight, it went to like 12. And then like 16, and then I was like shaking on my laptop. I was like holding. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like
it's a drug in itself.
I was like, "Honey, oh my god!" I was like shaking, man. I was like, I couldn't believe
what's going on?
What's going on? And then I like got greedy, so I held it, and then it went back down to like 8 cents, 6 cents, and I was like, "No!" And then a dead cat bounced to like 8 or 9, and I sold it then, and I was like,
yeah.
And then I kind of got out of it. I just took my money out, right? And I did very well. Paid off my wife's student loans, a bunch of other things that just smart things, right?
Yeah.
And like my wife was happy. My wife's parents were happy. So,
this guy, he's not bad after all.
Right? Yeah, I know. And so, and then I kind of just kept watching it develop. I started learning more at that point, digging deeper. And then around 2019, I had also started a business around then, a painting company with my wife, and just outside of Toronto. And we did really, really well doing that as well. But my life was stretched. I was commuting like 2 hours from Hamilton to Toronto for my job, working 10, 12 hours at the office trading, coming back, fixing painting mistakes that the painters had done. On the weekends, I'd be going to quotes, and then I'd be renovating my house at the same time. So it was quite a lot. And then I just said, like, I'm done. Like, I'm done with all this. I'm going to take some time off. We sold our house. We flipped it pretty much. I did a lot of work to it. Sold the house, bought a bigger truck, went to Texas to hang out with my brother-in-law for a few months. Nice. Took time off in Mexico in 2020. Yeah. We all know what happened in 2020.
No. Can you tell the people what happened in 2020?
So like I've been watching COVID since November of that year though.
Yeah, I saw it in December. I was like,
because it was impacting markets, and like I always followed China with the US dollar and the yuan at the time, right? So like I was really aware of what was going on, and I thought this could be serious.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm just gonna go and keep living my life, and we'll see. Maybe it's like SARS or H1N1 or whatever it is. And I was like, maybe it's just like that. Mm-hmm. Well, we got to Mexico, 3 months in, the whole world shut down. It was like March.
Yeah.
And at the time I was trading, and, I had this grand idea. Like I knew this is a black swan event. I had it figured out, but it was the first time I've actually traded like a huge, like global crisis before,
Yeah.
right? And
Big
being in the
macro.
world I was before, I'm kind of familiar, or like I'm aware of the tricks in the markets that can be played, either by the Fed pumping market money into the market, and
Short
so I
sale.
was like, okay, so we'll see what happens here.
Yeah.
March comes around. I did pretty good leading into March. I was trading options on a lot of biopharmaceutical companies because there was a lot of buyouts happening at that time. And things were going okay. I was making money enough to live off. And then March happens, and April happens, and the market starts going down, right? And I'm like, here we go. This is the time I've been waiting for. I know it's my time.
In the decade
And then
trades.
and then here's my mistake: is I took the same approach that I took with the crypto, where I knew it was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Where I went like hard on it. So I went hard on an option.
Mm-hmm.
I shorted a few of them, like Royal Caribbean at 100. You can look back on the charts when you think like I shorted Royal Caribbean at 100.
Yeah.
What were some other nasty ones? Boeing. I had a Boeing short at with a strike of like 250, and it was like 3 something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had another short, a Carnival, and a handful of other ones similar. And I was like, oh, in the S&P. I had an S&P strike at like 290, and it was 315 at the time. It went to like 220. All these crashed. If you look at the chart, right? But you see it sharply drop and then bounce up, right?
Yeah.
When it bounced up, tons of news started pouring in that the Fed was doing this, the Fed was doing that. I got like, I didn't stick to my guns. Like usually if your time frame is like a longer trade, like if your time frame is 1 to 3 months on a trade, you probably shouldn't be watching it on the minute by minute, 30-minute charts, right? Intraday trading.
Yeah.
And so like a rookie mistake on my part. Like I knew way better than that. And then I panic sold on the top when it bounced. So I got crushed. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I think it's going to keep going. So then I rebought again, but I went long and then went down a bit. And I was like, fuck, sold. Then I still had money left, and I was like, okay, here we go. Short again, and then bumped up again. And then I was just like, okay, I'm done. Yeah. I didn't lose it all, but I lost a lot. Okay. And then I just like, you know what? I'm going to take the rest of the summer off. I can afford to, like, no big deal. like just recalculate myself and like just take the time off that I was supposed to, like stop trading all the time. This was supposed to be like a sabbatical, like stop being an idiot, right? Because like I was watching the markets for like 12, 14 hours and like there's supposed to be time off, right? So like I wasn't giving it to myself. And so like the lesson learned was definitely like take time for your mental health when you're trading. Like you have to, especially with crypto. Like you could be up at like 3 and you're like looking at your phone and like, the phone drops on your face. Like that happens to me weekly still. Like I'll wake up and it's 3 a.m. and I'll think, oh, what's happening in Asia? And I'll like look it up and then I'll be up for like 30 minutes later and then I'll get distracted looking down like the rabbit hole of other things and I'm like,
she takes no prisoners.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. And then like, so yeah, I took the time off. Finally got out of Mexico, which that alone was
y'all were stuck there.
Mm-hmm. So I was in Merida, which is like 4 hours from Cancun. It's in the Yucatan Peninsula, so it's not on like the strip. It's on like that little part that shoots out.
Yeah. Oh.
And so to get out of Merida, you have to go to Cancun and fly direct, or you have to go to fly from Merida to Mexico City to fly back to Vancouver. My truck was in Texas. Okay.
What
part? All my belongings, except for like the 4 suitcases I brought. And then you ready for this? I brought my cats and my dog to Mexico.
So the whole family, the whole gang.
And it's just my wife and I. So it's my wife, me, 4 large bags. I have a little dog, Cocker Spaniel. I have a traveling crate that's built for a lab. So it's like there's a giant crate, 4 bags, 2 cats, and it's just me and my wife going through Cancun airport when we arrived.
Yeah.
People were like looking at us like, what the hell?
They're moving.
Yeah, they're moving here. Only for a short time, but they're doing all this work.
Yeah.
And but getting out, man, like we kept trying to find flights. Everyone was canceling flights. Airlines were closing. People were going bankrupt. You couldn't fly without having COVID tests in some places already. Flights were shutting down. April, I finally, like 16 hours on hold with WestJet, I got through. And then as I'm on hold with WestJet getting through, my wife emailed the CEO and was like, yo, like,
He's a killer.
we don't have any options because like our dog can't go underneath the carrier if it's certain temperature. And out of Cancun, it's too hot. And after like 8 a.m., you can't put the dog in after 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And there was no flights. There was only like a 7:30 flight. So we had to fly from Merida to Mexico City, from Mexico City to somewhere else, or go to Texas.
Yeah.
It was wild. Short story long, basically we got out. We ended up going to Mexico City. Aeromexico sells pet tickets first come, first serve, just so you know, wondering. Yeah, so we checked in like 2.5 hours before our flight, and they're like, oh, sorry, we can only get 2 of your pets on because there's no more spots. And we're like, but we paid for them. Like, they're not just, we're good. We're not like, what's going on? Meanwhile, they're starting to shut down Airbnb in Mexico now too. So like, and you can only fly with health certificates that are valid for 7 days. And the next flight was 7 days later.
That's why we need crypto, man. I need blockchain.
Dude, so I got stuck in the airport with my pets. Like, I just called the person I stayed with before, and I was like, yo, do you know anybody, like, offline, like, not Airbnb? Like, I need a place. Like, I'm screwed, right? Like, thankfully, we got a nice condo. It all worked out, but... Oh, and to add a little excitement, there was a tropical storm / hurricane barreling in on Merida the day we left.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a while. The last 2 years have just been, like, flown by, man. Like, yeah. So once I got back to Canada, I was just like, what do I want to do with my life? You know, like, I'm back in Vancouver, which is like halfway back across Canada, which is like halfway across the world for most people. I decided, like, let's try getting into crypto, right? You know, let's not try get a new job and a new career and a new industry. Let's also go take it one step further and try to get into crypto.
Yeah.
With no, like, barely, like, very minimal coding, and like I really have to bring value on the business side of things, or else it's really like. So my journey began, like, let's see, started in April, December. So I was also applying for like software roles, like manager roles, sales roles, mid-senior roles, and I was getting interviews all the way down to the final round, like, many times, like. And I've got a good resume, and I don't know if I interview the best sometimes, but it's been a while since I've had to interview.
Yeah.
To be honest, like, I think my last interview would have been
same here.
2010, 2009, and all my jobs were just like offered to me, or like I was like hunted out to fill a role in Toronto.
Poached.
It's good. It's a small world at the time, right? So, I mean, you lose kind of those skills. So it's just been like, it was nerve wracking. I think I sent in total, I went through my email, off chain and on chain resumes, maybe like 350, 400 over the course of like 3 months. And they all were with like personalized cover letters. Not one of them was non-unique. And some of the roles I created like custom presentations and how my skills aligned with their organizations in Canva. I made like really nice design custom things, and like I still wasn't getting jobs. Like, man, like it was brutal. And I was like, well, maybe it's the COVID era, and like, but man, I tell you, like, one of the hardest and like mentally draining things I've ever had to do. Like, I know I'm like a quality worker, and I know I produce quality work, but it's like, man, like, I mean, some people's job hunts are longer. I understand, and you know, some people even work harder than I do. Some people don't. So like, everyone's story is unique. But I can tell you, like, if you think you're working hard for a role, you have to work harder.
Real.
and you have to expect to take 3 times longer,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And if you expect like it to take you to the moon, maybe it'll only take you to like the clouds to get there. Right? Same reverse inverse psychology of reach for the moon, or reach for the stars, get to the moon. Right? But if you think of it, expect it's going to take as hard as it to get to the stars, but you can get to the moon. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I'm here, and I made it. I feel like I've made it. Like I'm okay being here for like 20 years, 30 years, like 40 years.
I
Yeah.
found you on DeFi Summit, man. So it was
I
like,
know. That was my first summit.
I'm crazy enough to reach out.
I know. I was like, what's this guy messing with? Oh, sure, why not? Like, I like talking to people. I like talking about crypto with people too. So it's like, meeting cool people. That's what I love the space. Everyone wants to hang out and get connected, and it's beautiful, man.
Yeah, I definitely like. I love that you shared your that your journey breaking into crypto. That's why I created Breaking Crypto.
Oh man. Oh yeah, it's quite the journey. Like, and even so, like my first, you have to be ready to like wear multiple hats, jump in on different things. And I think the biggest difference from like the real world and like off-chain like structure and like crypto projects, from my perspective at least, is that like you really need to take ownership from day one.
Yeah.
You know, you really have to, and within your role, you have to take ownership. You have to, make decisions, and you have to be like ready to go. Like you are on that project, you are part of the project, and your community is now watching you.
Yeah.
Even if it's day one.
On the clock.
And,
yeah,
they expect you already know everything.
Yeah, it's not just your investors. Your community is the investors now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Can we talk?
I think people. Yeah, I think people forget. I think the community forgets that sometimes. I think they take it for granted how accessible people are in these kind of projects.
Yeah.
Offline world, off chain. You don't have access to founders like like real business world. Like Web 2.0, like HTTP. Like,
did it for the people. The people we.
For the off chain is like non-blockchain businesses, non-crypto, just regular world businesses, gas stations, retail, big data, Microsoft, Google.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay, what was I talking about there? I got just a little off, sidetracked. Oh yeah. So like off-chain world, like only in large public companies do you get like, just public companies in general, you'll have your annual shareholders meeting, right? And you can chime in with votes via phone, or some have online solutions now for that. And that's it. You might get to discuss things with the Twitter account, or the business people might have like conferences they go to speak at, or panels. And the day-to-day interactions usually as the customer, with like a customer service person or a manager or someone on the inside that you might know, or investor relations. And investor relations just gives you all like the same thing, right? Only the things they're allowed to say. So if you can't read it and find it yourself, they're going to tell you the same stuff you can't find. That's the exact same thing, right?
Yeah.
So to get like the communication through Telegram, one-to-one DMs, AMAs all the time. You can go into the governance channel if you qualify with YFDI, and you can talk about things that are going on the minutia level day to day. And we have community managers that attend all of our meetings now, and people take that for granted. They're like, "Yo, where's the updates? Where are the updates? Where are the updates? Like, why aren't you doing this? It'd be nice if you did that." Like, yo, like we're literally working all day, and like we've got roadmaps for each product feature, and like you want us to break that strategically planned cycle just to kind of make this one concern you want to address. Like, no. But it's hard to communicate that balance, and like depending on what community you're in and how large it is, it's pretty cool because you can all talk about things together, and there's forums for it, and you don't really. I mean, you see like Wall Street Bets on Reddit and Twitter and hashtags and FinTwit and crypto Twitter, but to have that like centralized place like Telegram, just take it for be blessed, man. Like you have access to like the pulse of a project, you know.
Any project.
And I know.
I think like it's been funny because I'm in venture capital as well, and that world is right. They're getting the private money, right? They're getting
Yeah,
early in, and that crypto, these projects, like you are basically a VC. You're a venture
yeah. You're the
capitalist.
VC.
Everyone can
Yeah,
be a venture capitalist in crypto, but I think people don't realize as an investment, it's a respected return, right? In the future. But like people most people have short-term mindsets, right? They're watching
mm-hmm.
they're watching their price all day.
Yeah,
They're not saying, "Hey, where's Bozon going to be? Where's BI Finance going to be in 3 years, 5 years?"
yeah. They're saying what's happening now,
Yeah,
like now.
yeah. And so it's like
But you know, it's not a generational thing, though, right? Like, what's the generation that's mostly interacting with crypto right now? You know?
millennials and Gen Z.
Yeah. So like, it's the now generation. You know? And I think we tend to forget, like, we don't tend to have perspective. Um, like, I'm 36. Wait, 36 in a month and a half.
Nice.
Not yet, but I'm 35. So, I mean, it took me till I was 35 to break into crypto, and so I'll be like older
Yeah.
when it's mainstream more.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's okay. I was here. I was here to start. Not at the start, but
Yeah. I think about age is like, do you understand?
yeah, exactly. But I still feel young. But I'm like, oh man, I got so much time ahead of me. You know, it's all good. I can be patient. You know, I'm okay. Like that's one thing with my last role, my last career, was always like go, 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 hammer, 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 and you don't need to do that, but it's still fast paced here.
Yeah.
But if you keep a good pace, work hard all day, stay focused, which is one of the main things that's hard because, you know, you might have 30, 40, 50 tabs open and then you got the community binging and then like I'm in like 200 plus Telegram groups. Like, so like I'm working and then all of a sudden like all these ping, 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 ping.
Yeah. I turn it off. I'm just like, on my phone, it buzzes for sure.
No, but even the groups I need to be aware of, like my internals, YFDI channels, community manager channels, even those, or like our Slack is going off, and like, and so like obviously I turned off all the notifications on most of them, but still, it's been like it's never off.
You can't this is building time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Explain the company you're at now. Your role, what made you entice you to start there, all that.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I'm the Launchpad Success Manager right now with YFDI. The original intention of my role was to be brought in, transition, and take over for the manager role and just head up the Launchpad product. And so, you know, I'm a few months in now. I think in the next couple of weeks, though, there will be that transition. However, you know, as in crypto, part of my other roles include like I'm working spearheading DAO governance. That means like building out the platform and how users interact with it. So developing product stories, user stories, kind of figuring out what version 1 will be like, and working out how the governance mechanics with our staking token will work with that as well. So, you know, I had to do that. And then with Launchpad, which is my actual title, you know, we're looking for blockchain startups, crypto startups that are already ready. They've got their code pretty much done. They're ready to launch tokens, and they're ready to just, you know, they're ready to do public pre-sale, public sale, and they're ready to launch. So we have like a month and a half-ish type program. It's like an accelerator. You would consider an accelerator in the VC world, right? In traditional world finance. So it'd be, we're not here to build the business. We're here to advise on the direction of your marketing, your branding, getting you ready to launch your contracts. People that take part in our private sales and our seed sale rounds are stakers and farmers of YFDI. So YFDI is a complete ecosystem of DeFi products. And the big thing that we offer is transparency, trust, a safe environment. So for people that are more new to crypto but want to experience DeFi, you know, we offer a lot of the services that DeFi across the board would have. So, you know, if you want to do decentralized exchanging on our DEX, like just do a swap,
What's a
You have
DEX?
a DEX is like an exchange, but it's decentralized. So people that have crypto wallets and you have a crypto wallet, we would plug into this interface, and there's a pool of tokens just sitting there on both sides. So if you want to trade US dollars for YFDI, let's say, there's YFDI and US dollar tokens sitting on our platform that users have put in. And because you put those tokens in, like you would have to put 50% US dollar, 50% YFDI, you deposit it, you get a token, what's called a liquidity pool token. It's an LP token. So you're depositing your money on our decentralized exchange. Think of it like a stock exchange that's run by banks, okay? But the banks hold the shares. You are holding the shares and you are depositing them in the exchange to be used for exchanging back and forth, right?
You're the bank.
You are the bank and you are providing liquidity to make other people like us exchange our US dollars and YFDIs. So there's a lot of pairings, right? You have to think of it like that too. So there's a lot of different ones you can deposit. And when you deposit that and you get the token, you're now farming. Okay, so you're farming with us, so you can do that, and that powers our DEX, which is the exchange.
What's yield farming?
So that what I just explained, how you deposit those tokens, right? And you get a liquidity providing token, like an LP token. You're going to get a fee every time people exchange US for YFDI. You get a piece of that pie by providing liquidity.
Because you have staked that money, you have staked those tokens.
You have put those US dollars, you have put those YFDI in the exchange to be used by other people. Okay, and part of what makes that risky is because whoever runs the exchange potentially, or projects, let's say you have like a meme coin, okay, let's call it Taylor coin. Let's call it Taylor coin. Okay, Taylor coin. Taylor coin shows up, and you, Taylor coin, thinks, I'm going to put like 10 grand US dollars, 10 grand of my Taylor coin, and I'm going to make a token on Uniswap. Okay. All of a sudden, people see that there's a high percentage return by depositing Taylor coin and US dollars. So they buy your coin, they put their US dollars in, they put them in your system, provide liquidity for your token. Now Taylor coin looks like, oh, people are providing liquidity. This is a real project. Taylor, you're like, looks like I'm about ready to make $1 million or $2 million here. Let's pull all the liquidity, right? You can take it.
The cash out.
Right, because you're the project. So you can cash it all out because it's liquidity is provided through contracts. So that's why with Launchpad, we provide projects. We try to launch projects that go through strict vetting, KYC their owners, and we get to know the company. We take their picture ID, they sign contracts, we vet their contracts through audits with Blockchain Concilium. We analyze many different things about the business, from operations, technical, security threats, internal, external, and also like KYC. And then marketing risks, business risk to us, potential return, right? It's a product, we're looking to make money off of it. And at the end of the day, like we try to do a 3-month contract with them post-launch as marketing advisory services to make sure that they're doing things correctly, or that we can support them in the best way possible with their success. So putting out press packages, aligning with influencers, building out videos, helping them do with product roadmap development. And so we provide projects that aren't going to rug pull. That's kind of like the ethos, is like we're a safe environment, so we're going to provide these projects that are safer, right? That's not going to rug pull you. And then part of that product line includes our decentralized exchange. So you can farm tokens with us. Like I said, you deposit the tokens and you provide liquidity. The fee you get from that is called yield farming.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what yield farming is. So that's another aspect of DeFi. So when you think about it, we have a launch pad where you can buy pre-sale tokens and become like a VC in a safe environment, because we only we don't pump out hundreds of projects or like 50 or 20. We've only done 3, right? And then you have yield farming, so you can do yield farming by depositing liquidity, or you can just trade on the exchange and just trade. And then you can also stake. There's single-sided staking, where it's like if you buy our governance token SSGT, say, oh, I'm going to buy some SSGT. What can I do with it besides just hold it in my wallet? Well, people always want more of the coin that they buy, right? Yeah. So you can stake your SSGT with our staking contract on our dashboard, and you get 72% APY on that, right? Which is really high.
That's a lot, 22.
Right? So you buy SSGT, which, by the way, I am very bullish on our SSGT token. I'm very bullish on YFI just because I know everything that's going on in the back end of things. So,
financial advice.
But yeah, staking SSGT or YFI, same thing, 72% APY. And the beauty about what you do when you stake with us, not only do you get 72% APY, right? You're getting 72% APY by staking. You're also now going to get exclusive access to the pre-sales. And the more you stake, the more of an allocation you will buy, right? And the good thing about it is all of the pre-sales are not, they're done in like a fair way. So you have 24 to 48 hours to claim your allocation. There's no gas wars. There's no like rushing to hit buy the button to beat somebody else. You can just get up when your time zone is perfect, buy your pre-sale allocation, and then you're good. Wow. And so staking YFI gives you that access, and then staking SSGT gives you that 72% APY plus governance capabilities. Mm-hmm. So we're going to start, like, you can vote on which liquidity pairs go on SafeSwap now, our exchange, right? Yeah. So eventually you're going to be able to vote on which pairs go in. So you can only see pairs that you want. Then you can vote on launchpad projects, and then you can vote on fees on the exchange and determine the fee payout as well. So you can do all of these things all within our ecosystem. Wow. And we just bridged to Matic, which is a layer 2 solution. So it's built on top of Ethereum, but it's really fast and it's feeless pretty much.
Yeah,
people don't have to pay lots of fees.
Yeah, Matic is definitely killing it. We won't get too in depth into that.
Yeah, I know.
We're still
at so that's kind of like YFI. That's what we do. Yeah. That's kind of what I do. So, what I do. So, Matt, I do managing the launchpad, communication with each project. So like we have weekly communications with them, monthly marketing decisions to make, budgets to set, communications with different marketing channels. And on top of that, I'm doing the DAO governance, structure, product development, and then I'm also helping with overall marketing for the company as well, supporting our COO. He's an animal. He's just an animal. Yeah. The guy's incredible. Yeah. And then recently, actually, breaking news, I've been told I've been brought on with ColdStack, and they are a decentralized data storage cloud Web3 business. So think of like Uber, but for data storage and for crypto native businesses. So let's see, like in the offline world, Microsoft and Google and Amazon have these cold storage solutions where if you need to store KYC data on a customer or data from like 20 years ago, but you need to keep it that you never use, they have solutions for that. But on the blockchain, they have Filecoin, there's SIA, there's a handful of others, right? Yeah. And what ColdStack does is, depending on network conditions, their product and algorithm is able to determine which is the most efficient route to be using. Mm-hmm. Okay? And they're able to store data. You store data through their interface. So in KuCoin, right? They have to store KYC data on customers. They have to store orders data, buy and sell data, all of that. They have to be able to, all the trade flow data, order book data, they need to store all of that. And so ColdStack would work with these companies. They plug their wallets in, pay a nominal fee, and now they're able to store all of their Web3 data and the most, you know, they save about 80% in traditional versus traditional cold storage.
Yeah.
So my role there will be partnerships. The title's kind of undecided right now. It'll be more like a director partnerships type-ish role, manager, something like that.
Yeah.
And it's all about me building up partnerships that are expanding their user base.
Yeah.
So finding, you know, exchange houses, data providers, APIs, people that use API data, and also infrastructure. So helping them find strategic partnerships to build up their infrastructure
Yeah.
on the server, the node level, at various levels of the stack. And yeah, so I don't know when I'm starting, but the guy just let me know yesterday, so I'm pretty pumped on that as well. But that's more of a part-time role.
Yeah.
That's something that's more aligned with my sales background
Yeah.
and understanding how to do business development and understanding, you know, how to look at a project from a due diligence standpoint and finding out where the gaps are and how, you know, strategic partnerships and ecosystem can really build the business. So
Yeah. That's dope, man. Congrats on Cold Stack. I'm looking them up. They definitely.
thanks, man.
I know why they need. They're all tech guys. So they need.
Yeah, they're scaling right now. They're about to go and launch their MVP and they're about to ramp up. So
That's crazy how these projects are just like launch padding. Pun
yeah,
intended. They are taking off. I'm taking a different direction. You see, the funding is getting
yeah,
wild.
they got good funding, man.
The funding is wild. I know Q1 of 2020 was a little over 1 billion. Q1 of 2021 investment funding for everybody. Uh,
Yeah,
in the
yeah, there's tons. It's
it's
pouring in.
over 3.18 billion this year,
It's
and
pouring
that's
in.
just
It's pouring
Q1.
in. I
You see what we
know.
did in Q2 because
Think about like when it's really like what's the traditional world right now? What was Q1? Do you know?
traditional venture capital or just
Yeah,
fundraising. I'm not sure. Let's see. Uh,
it'd be interesting to see how that compares. If you could graph that, put that on a chart, and then watch it over the years as one overtakes the other.
DeFi
When
takes
that overtake, when that overtake happens, that's when you like
that's
sell the house. You know, actually, you know what? Sell the house now. Mortgage it, double mortgage, go into credit card debt, everything. Buy crypto. And that is financial advice if people are wondering.
before the intersection.
Before it too,
Right
yeah.
before when it's like, okay, this is
It's already going. It's you can't stop it. You can't stop this.
pain.
Like
Stop.
it can't be stopped. I mean, they could shut off the internet all across the world, and then the only thing that would make it work would be like when it turns back on, the blockchain would continue. It would continue on its cycle. That's something I haven't dug too deep into personally, but I don't see that happening. So I think with all the companies jumping on board, governments jumping on board,
Yeah,
this is it, man. This is the future. If you don't see that, I don't understand what else you need to see because
let's talk about that. So if someone's still confused, I know we broke down some things today. We're talking about decentralized finance. That's basically saying, hey, you have banks, you have central banks, you have government municipalities that are centralized from a bits perspective, data stored. Um,
centralized servers for
yeah,
data, you know, centralized institutions that govern banking, real
monetary,
estate, insurance,
all of it.
lending and borrowing. You know,
Yeah,
you
decentralized.
could for lending and borrowing, you become the lender or the borrower. You make that percentage,
True
right?
sovereignty of the individual and the smaller businesses. You can still have big businesses, but everyone has
Mm-hmm.
ownership of the stake.
Everyone,
You
yeah.
still grow together. All boats rise in decentralized
Mm-hmm.
finance. You
It's
can
like
be a
we are the,
trillionaire. You could be a
and like
trillionaire.
with data, if you think about it from the data perspective, think about all those data storage centers. What if we were the data? What if we were that sort of the
In
server?
our
What if
data.
we are that power, the processor, right? And that's what the transition happens, right, man? And we are the network, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I think there's a huge push. It's like we don't want people to come together, you know, and it's sad.
Yeah, that's what governments are trying to. I don't know. It's control. It's a stat. Governments and politics are a status game.
Mm-hmm.
Crypto and business world. I'm not saying business is perfect, but it's a merit game. It's proof of work. right?
Yeah, it's proof of work. Yeah.
If you show you're good, if you show you can run faster, jump higher, be smarter,
Yeah, it's the worst, hey?
track pun intended, track and field, you win. You win the medals. And
Yeah, exactly. If you can go 120% the longest, you'll rise,
yeah.
right? Eventually.
What do you think about just the landscape? There's probably 10,000 plus coins, more being created by
It's
the
crazy.
minute.
Yeah,
What does that look like um,
I
through
think.
this cycle? We're at 10,000 plus cryptocurrency. People
Mm,
are like, I don't even know where to start. And
well, you'd think like the last cycle, you saw a lot of ICOs was the term,
initial
and a
coin,
lot of it was people launching coins as a way to fund business models. And the coin was the only utility of that coin was to access the platform or pay for services,
yeah,
right? You saw a ton of that. And you're seeing something like that right now with meme coins. Like
yeah,
you can create a coin, create a burn, and all these numbers. You can change the burn metrics, you can burn the fee metrics, and it's all about people trying to find that magic sauce for something. But at the end of the day, there's no utility still. It's just like, how can I build a coin that has the most like tasty looking numbers, right?
token.
And that's fine. I mean, it's all part of like it's human nature. And like I think that's one of the things I've noticed in my career is that so much of this world and trading, charts, work, life, you got to have perspective when you zoom out on your chart. You know, when things get too high, you be careful. There's going to be a fall down. You know, how do you manage that? Do you expect it? Don't get too high on your horse as well. Personally, same thing. Don't go straight green handle, right?
Yeah,
Because there's going to be a rapid downfall, and if you fall down, like how strong are you going to be? Are you going to dead cat bounce it? You know, like and like you can see those human emotions on play out on the charts.
yeah,
And if you read, it's wild. And then the way charts set up, even
yeah,
leading into things,
yeah.
and it's like if like a macro event or a material event gets announced in the stock market, and you no one knew about it, like it was no one knew it was coming, right? But then you look at the chart trades like something is about to happen,
Fear. Yeah,
right?
there's markers. There's markers, and
And the markers move into like, oh, something's happening. There could be something happening. It's gonna now the chart's leading into like a triangle. It's kind of and then
intersection.
all of a sudden unexpected news release. Or right?
Yeah,
And like it's crazy watching that. And yeah.
it's exciting though, and yeah, just like depends on your investment horizon. Depends on what
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's
outlook.
healthy too. It's healthy to churn those funds in and out. It's education, right? One thing I learned, a huge poker player. I played poker since I was like 19, 18, maybe 17 even.
Teach
But
me, bro. Teach
at the
me.
casino, since I was like 19, I've gone to a few tournaments and like it's a little mental space again, same thing. And like, um,
Games of
it's,
mental life. Yeah.
it is. And, I forgot where I was going with the poker thing, but you know,
You had some advice to give us, but
yeah, it was good. It was really good. It was a banger.
it'll come
But
back
like,
when we finish.
yeah, it's all good. But overall, man, I think it's healthy to see that. Oh yeah, education. It's like when you play poker and you're learning at the casino,
Yeah.
like, and you lose. If you don't figure out why you lose, you're just going to keep blowing money, right? You need to figure out the strategy, figure out the game, figure out where your leaks are. Like, are you being obvious? But that sort of part doesn't play into it as much. Just like you need to, I view it as the market's paying for an education right now. And part of that education is determining value in coins and what's value and what's not. And,
Yeah.
you know, supporting projects that are good, supporting projects that are bad. And like the truth comes out in the end, like tight finance, you saw that recently, and then tons of other rugs that have happened. And, you know, it's good. It's like the industry's growing up and it's all part of it, you know. Maybe teenager now. The industry's a teenager now, so we're going through like that funky, you know, phase where we dress weird, and you know that dressing weird may be equivalent to a meme coin. Getting piercings all over might be like that's our meme coin. my
That's a
meme
great
coin
analogy.
section.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think like in the next 5 years, you're going to see crazy developments. Like if you're already seeing countries this year, what's it going to be like in five? Like
Africa
how
and
many
South
countries?
America,
How many countries will it be?
25, 30.
Africa's ripe for crypto. Crypto, right? Like
I'm
that's
moving.
what I think North
I'm moving
American
there.
people miss. This is okay. This is a good point. This is what I think North American people miss, and Westerns, maybe not so much Eastern like Europeans,
Yeah.
but more North American. They miss out that the fact that crypto is built for people to take the power back. And where is that people the most oppressed?
We're asleep.
Africa, Central America, South America, dictatorships in the Middle East, Asia. This is where the market's exploding, right?
Yeah.
That's where you're seeing it.
Yeah.
And then they're the testing grounds, they're the proving grounds, right? And
They want
that's
more
like,
in this central
yeah,
banking
and
world, in this the whole.
there's like the reserve rights currency that's exploding in Venezuela.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, like, because I've watched currencies that get decimated. I watched the Brexit vote happen.
I did too.
So I stayed overnight. I was working the
Headed
desk
up.
for trading because we told clients we'd have 24/7.
That was a crazy trading day.
Dude, I watching it and like that one report came out from one county and it was like, and I was like,
We were
whoa!
down 800 points on the Dow.
I was like, that's it. I'm like, it's over. And then I watched the Trump inauguration too. So like
that
the
was
voting.
crazy.
So I stayed late for voting, trading that day as well.
That
So
was,
I got to trade both those events. So that was really cool.
I bet both those. I bet Trump was going to win, and I bet that Brexit was an exit. That was very crazy that time of life. Even crazier now, but more balanced. So yeah.
Yeah, we all get a little piss and vinegar in us when we're young,
I didn't
like,
vote for Trump, but I don't really care. I'm very apolitical, but I just want.
I didn't vote for anybody.
Yeah.
In the U.S.
Yeah. I'm Canadian. I'm glad we're neighbor countries. I have not been to Canada yet. Like I said, I'm definitely.
Oh, dude, you gotta come visit here where I live. Like we can go to Whistler. Whistler's like where they have the Olympics, right?
We're gonna hang out for sure.
I just bought a boat recently. Not like a nice boat. Not a nice boat. Like,
Lambo.
But I've been researching them, like little small ones, 18-footer, for like over a year now.
Yeah.
And actually, I used my trading money from this year for it. I started the year with $1,000 in an account to see how I can do.
Yeah.
Just like for fun, because I was trying to find a job. So my whole day was like resume writing and like. Yeah. So I was like, I'll just play around with 1,000 and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Turn it into like 25.
What?
I know.
I actually did the same thing. Mine's around like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I wasn't probably not trading as tight in increments. You always like holding it, trade it here and there.
Yeah, I was trading for like big pops.
Yeah.
Like I was
finding gems.
And I would take my profit as soon as possible. So like once I got to like 5,000, I would split it into like 3 trades.
Yeah.
So I'd do 3 trades, and I would find all the small caps on KuCoin. That was my trick. It wasn't a trick, but I was looking for the really crazy small ones like Trias, killed it on Trias, and like a bunch of other ones. So, the Graph token, I bought it when it was like 60 cents. LTX was like 44 cents, and it went to like $1.80. Trias went from like $1 to like 30. So I had that one. MTV went from like sub cents to like, it went like Forex. GMB, that went from like cheap to like 5x. So I did that one. So like I did all those gems and I just like murdered it. And then I did some leverage trading and got crushed for a bit. And then I got the job in crypto and I haven't really traded at all. I've been just like swamped.
So it's just been. You gotta extend your duration because like you can't sit in the charts. You're working on operations now. You're working on the business side. So it's
like I'm even designing the governance document in like a design program, and like that's after writing the content with the team, figuring out all the details. Now I need to find all the icons. I need to brand it. I need to design it and make it look nice for the community.
Yeah.
So like the creative work like that, man, it just flies by. Like I'll be working on it and I'll forget we have a team meeting, and like I'll be 10 minutes late, or like I'll miss it,
You're
and
tapped
I'll
in.
just be like,
You're
I'll be
locked.
zoned in, and like it'll be 4 hours will fly by. It
Yeah,
takes like a couple hours a page to do, right? And
yeah. You're like a Swiss Army knife, man. You just have all these skills. The only
well,
thing,
it's crazy. You know,
only
I
thing you
built
can't
all
do.
these skills in the real world,
Yeah,
right? Like running my painting business. So we had to do the branding and designing. So figuring that out,
yeah,
managing people,
yeah,
working in trading. So knowing financial markets too, strategy like that.
yeah.
Um, I built stuff I did product development at Western Union as well. So like it all kind of worked, but it was hard. I think the hardest thing was explaining how those align and you can bring value to a company in a
Mhm.
project, right? People just focus on the real world, like account. Like even me, I was focused on, like account manager or director of sales or
Specific.
enterprise account manager, specific things that like you get taught in the world is like, this is the hierarchy, this is how things are done, very like archaic, right? And
Generalist.
so
Yeah,
if people are trying to get into crypto, which I'm assuming they want to, and from a business standpoint and working standpoint,
yeah.
like it's good to analyze a project and see what they're doing. If it's a tech heavy project, maybe not a good spot for you if you're not very technical,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
But if there's a clear like boson, like I love NFTs and I love real world products being delivered through blockchain marketplaces,
Yeah,
and like the whole figuring out the solution from like the blockchain to a real world item,
that's
pretty
huge.
crazy. I watched the demo day like last month, was it, or a month or so ago?
Yeah, it was about. It was, I think it was in June. It was sometime in June. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
pretty.
already July, man. I even like it's wild. So like, and also if you think you're working hard, you're going to be working 10 plus hours generally too,
Yeah,
right?
and
I'm
it's
contracted for 8. My contract is 8, right? But I make myself available for 10.
yeah,
And I think I'm going to start making that a hard line because I have this other role now.
yeah,
But I mean, I know I can fill in this other role part time, like
yeah,
4 or 5 hours a day, no
yeah.
problem.
Sure.
And I can do it in the evenings. And
Yeah. Cool. What I have a question about uh um why what do you say how you say it? Why finance?
YF die,
YF die.
YF die.
Die. Why is you guys token supply so low?
I wasn't around for the original development of the tokenomics,
Yeah.
but they really wanted to make a token that it's deflationary for one. So we burn YF die, and I believe that the thought of it was that we wanted to not have tons of tokens out there. We wanted to look attractive from a tokenomic standpoint. Like if you're thinking of it as a VC, there's not heavy dilution, right? There's not like hundreds of thousands of shares or like a billion shares outstanding or a
Yeah.
billion coins, right? It doesn't take a lot to buy some. Um, and it's deflationary. So 21,000, eventually I think the hard cap's like 13,000 or 14,000. But the reason just being, in my point of view, is that we wanted to bring something that was attractive. We wanted to have a higher price coin. People like that. And just, from an optics standpoint, from a strategy standpoint, it's deflationary. So, yeah, that's my understanding. It's a good question. I mean, I haven't really dug too deep into that circulating supply myself, but I know it's small, like 21, and it goes down to a hard cap of 14. Um,
Yeah, that's
but yeah, in my opinion, like that's what I think as a trader. I think, oh, 14,000 hard cap. That means it's tight. It's going to be tight because people are staking it, right? People are holding it, staking it.
yeah.
So
Mm. Yeah.
it
What's
becomes more like more rare, right? Inflationary. So
yeah, what's the end goal uh for you all?
for us at YFDI,
Yeah.
I think for the project, our goal is to really become just a safe spot for new people that want to learn what DeFi is,
Mhm.
right? A safe place that like we've all been KYC'd, all of our IDs been out there, we've signed contracts. There's like we have a business license in Estonia, I believe. We're a legit project, And a lot of our team tokens are locked. We have vesting schedules for all of our projects that we launch. And the idea is just to be like a safe spot, a safe ecosystem that you know you're not going to get rugged. You can take part in farming and you can learn what that is.
Yeah.
You can just use the decentralized exchange that we have,
Yeah.
or and you can just do all of that: staking, farming, participate as a VC if you want, or just hold, right, and trade it.
Yeah. So you want to be that ecosystem of DeFi.
Yeah,
DeFi.
just all in one. And we have
Journey
lending and
into
borrowing products
journey
being
into
developed.
yeah, your journey into DeFi. You guys have
Mhm.
launched 3 tokens so far. How many do y'all want to have like at the end of the year?
I think within the year right now, since July, we got 5 months left. Ideally, in a perfect world, we probably launch 4 to 5 more projects. We're in the process of launching a brand new interactive Launchpad dashboard where you can click in, um, view past projects, view upcoming projects, see how much your allocation is, how much you've bought purchased. You can claim your tokens from it. And, the reason why that's being developed and it's not currently out there is we have so many other products. Like some projects like Compound just are like lending and borrowing, right? And some people just do that. Some people just offer a DEX and farming. Some people only do launch pads.
Yeah.
We're doing all of that, and we're a small team, right? So it's kind of like pretty wild right now. And but we have lending and borrowing down the road. We have a debit card we're going to launch. We have a mobile app we're going to launch. So eventually, you're going to be able to interact with all these DeFi products. You're going to earn percentage back as being a bank, right? Be earning yield, and you can use that yield through the debit card,
Yeah.
right? So now you can start using our ecosystem to not only earn, but you can use it to spend.
Is there
So
competition?
that's the end goal.
Are there other people like all in one DeFi house?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. Not as to the extent that we're doing. We're really aggressive with our goals.
Yeah.
Like the fact like we want to have a launch pad running like 12 to 15 projects or more a year.
Yeah.
Like that alone, like launching one coin and managing the community, any kind of issues that pop up, marketing, it is like mayhem. It's pure mayhem. And to do that well on working on other products at the same time, like my first day, my first day was during like a private sale,
Yeah.
and I was having to check with issues when wallets were connecting. I had to go through our whitelist in a spreadsheet. I had to look through all the wallet addresses, find out who qualified, how much they qualified for, make sure they got the right amount, log the error, make sure they got followed up with. And that was my first day. So like when I say to take ownership, like dude, first day I was doing that, and it's like you're telling people, and they're expecting everything.
Exactly.
So I got thrown into the deep end hard in the first week. It was like it was craziness. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Awesome, man. This is cryptoverse, man. It's not an industry. It's a universe.
yeah,
It's a new
it's
market. It's a
incredible. It's
universe.
incredible.
A new
Yeah.
world. Yeah. Where do you see the next 5 years? Where we're at? Where are we at as a universe? Where is the crypto world going? It's just about breaking into the future.
Well, I'm so aware. Like, there's a project called Dent, which offers eSIM, which is decentralized cell phone data
Oh
and
my!
minutes,
What?
right? So you're
NT.
about to DENT
TNT. Oh gosh. Oh wow.
called Dent. Yeah.
They're kind of up there.
And then another project that's going to shatter people's worlds is called Constellation.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
I've heard of.
and they do Lattice Exchange. So Lattice, they're going to be an all-in-one DeFi as well. They're still not fully launched and fully operational,
Yeah.
but Constellation Network.io would be the one I'm talking about. They have contracts with like the Department of Defense. They're providing complex data solutions for autonomous vehicles to communicate between each other
Oh,
using their protocol.
oh god.
So
That's it.
like they have rich data that can be communicated on the blockchain.
Yeah. Wow.
Like, and they're just flying so under the radar, man. They're like, it's wild.
They're up there.
That
They're he up there, but they're like, yeah, no one knows about that.
DAG and LTX. Those are the tickers. And you can buy a node with DAG and spin up a stake channel and change your life. So I'm here. I'm shilling it, and I'm also shilling YFDI and SSGT because there's so low market caps and we got crazy things happening. So, and then I'll shill cold stack too, CLS.
Yeah.
Why not, right?
Hey, children, this is not financial advice. Do your own research.
Yeah. Yeah, not these one. These are all not financial advice.
Never.
But if you had buy Ethereum, that's financial advice.
There's too many people on the network.
Yeah.
They'll figure out the bugs.
It's huge. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's our next episode. We'll just rant about Ethereum or like.
Oh man,
the top
infrastructure development. Yeah.
We'll break down actually from a trading and investing perspective, like the landscape.
Oh man, I could chat trading and investing like all day too.
Bro. This was awesome, man. Thank you so much. This is a
dude, so much fun.
Every episode is lit, but they get better each time, but in different.
Oh, that's good.
Everyone's
that's good. Thanks for having me, man.
We'll have like a.
It's really good meeting you, man. Like we'll keep in touch, and I want to hear more and see your developments with Boson and see where you're going in 5 years, man. You got in early, dude.
Yeah.
Congrats.
God, we're not going to the moons. We're going to Mars, man. We've already been.
Yeah.
Where can people follow you? Keep up with you, man. And I'll post.
With me, people can catch up with me on Twitter at Mr. CoinMeister.
Hey.
Yeah, my last name is Burmeister, so I figured CoinMeister. So yeah, Twitter.com, Mr. CoinMeister. Yeah.
Nice, JB. Thanks so much,
man,
for your time.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks for having me. I look forward to it. All right, man. Have a great one.
You too. Peace, man. Man, John Burmeister of Vancouver, just outside. He is, man, that was awesome conversation. You heard him. We talked a lot about his life. We talked a lot about just his way and getting into crypto and learning and just, hey, being hungry. If you want to break into crypto, you got to be hungry. You got to learn. We're friendly. It's the early days, just like Web 1, Web 2. We're breaking to the future, baby. See you guys soon. Love you guys. Let's get it.